Hello, viewers, and welcome to another episode of the Enoch generation, a generation that walks with God. Well, in the last 4 episodes, we've been talking to Pastor Joseph Naveen, and he's been telling us about the wonderful walk with the Lord from when he was young till this day. Well, we go on to Pastor Joseph Naveen, where he will tell us about how his family life affected his ministry. Over to you, and now you chose your bride, and the bride is all set up there with the very same verse that the Lord has been speaking to you. I mean, it's really wonderful how God brings two people together. Well, did it go on from there?
In fact, when I got married to my wife, I never knew whether she would sing or talk, whether she was deaf or dumb. Trust me, that one particular verse brought us together. That was, today when both of us turned back, being brought up in a very Chennai setup, in a very city setup, we weren't very conservative. Our parents were very forthright, and we were very liberal, not very strict conservative family. Right from our childhood, we have gone out, we had friends, so that was our upbringing. And for me to have this kind of way of God bringing my wife into my life was very different, which I never even expected. But again, I said, God gave me the heart to say yes. When I knew it was His will, I said, okay.
So like Adam recognized Eve, you did recognize her ultimately.
True.
And God knew how you would recognize her, not when you see her.
Yeah.
When you see the verse.
I still remember many years ago, it was you who told me that, I know you're laughing, but you said many years ago, you said, the girl who you'll marry, you will have brown eyes. Trust me, when me and my family, we went to their house, I didn't notice. The first thing when my brother was noticing was seeing the eyes of that girl, whether it was brown or blue or black. But apparently my brother ran to me and said, hey, something, brown eyes, this is the girl, So even you're part of the story.
Because I remember this, because when your brother was looking out for a girl, he kept telling me, Auntie, you have told him about the brown eyes. Why don't you prophesy over me? I need to know. So I used to keep telling him it's blue eyes, green eyes, all sorts of things. He'll say, I know you're not prophesying.
But I think God has an amazing way of communicating His thoughts and His ways to us.
Amen.
I think it's just a matter of, are we open?
Exactly.
I often say, you can wake up someone who's actually sleeping, but you can never wake up someone who's pretending to sleep.
Very true.
But that's the key. I think if we are available for God's choices in our life, it's His responsibility. It's His responsibility to communicate His plans to us.
Amen.
But He takes us to a journey, and the journey is not always nice and easy. It is rugged. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen next. But when you turn back, it's just not a blessing, it is a testimony.
Amen. It's like, half the time it's like walking on waters. But as long as your focus is right,
definitely,
you make it through.
Yeah. Many people ask me, where do you see 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I tell them, I don't see 5 minutes from now.
Exactly.
So stop asking me those management corporate questions. It doesn't imply to me. All I know is one day at a time, sweet Jesus.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking.
It's literally like one moment at a time.
Definitely, yes.
So after your wife came in, and then how did she fit into your ministry, and how did she get involved with this?
One of the things that when I prayed for my marriage, I said, Lord, I don't want to get married to a pastor's daughter. Don't ask me why. I'm not against any pastor. I'm not against any pastor's children. But I wanted a person who had nothing to do with ministry.
Okay.
Because for the simple reason, they would have a teachable spirit.
Okay.
To learn what God wants to do in their life. I'm not against pastors' kids, even though now my children are a pastor's kids. So I dare I say anything against them. But being if you're a pastor's kid, you're so used to that culture of ministry. You used to say the praise the Lords and hallelujahs. You know how to be what. Sometimes it can be mechanical.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might not have that freshness that what God wants us to. I might be wrong. I might be right in this. But that was my notion at that time.
Okay.
So I want someone who had nothing to do with ministry. Apparently, my wife was a software engineer
Okay.
working with L&T. So when I got married to her, she was working. So I used to do ministry, travel, and she used to work as an IT professional. And that's how we started.
Okay.
But thank God that she was completely, I think without her cooperation and understanding, I wouldn't have been doing this traveling ministry for all these years.
Yeah, because it's pretty difficult for a woman to stay home, take care of everything when the husband is away on such long
Definitely.
trips.
No.
And I think your international trips take quite a while for you to return.
Yes, for months I used to be out. Not even once she has cribbed, complained, But so thank God that God gave me a person who will understand the weight behind this ministry. And she has always given me this support, saying, if God has told you, just do it. I'll back you up. So I think, I really thank the Lord for giving a partner like that. Sometimes, I still remember Dr. David Stewart used to tell me, he said, Joseph, many pastors will come and tell you, you preach well. But there is a girl in my church, she sings well. So you preach, she sings, she plays the piano.
So
you can be a
complement each
package. But he told me something, he said, Joseph, you can hire and fire a keyboard player, but you can never hire and fire a wife.
That's
so he
very
told
true.
me, don't search for a keyboard player, search for a wife. And I think that word of wisdom was very, very strong in me. That I was not searching for a preacher, I was not searching for a worship leader, I was not searching for a keyboard player, I was searching for a wife.
But I really praise and thank God for such servants of God who've been literally pushing you to your destiny, who've been
Definitely.
giving you those profound words that kept you going. So that itself is a great miracle in our lives, to have such people, being surrounded by such people. So when she came in and then you were ministering all around, so she was able to take it. And at which point of time did she actually give up her job and move into ministry full time?
Yeah, I think for about 5 years she was working, and one fine day, early morning, the Lord spoke to her, resign your job and join your husband in the ministry. So when she came and told me, she said, Naveen, I feel like God telling me to give away my job. And so I asked her, is it the Lord speaking or the devil speaking? Because because I wasn't ready for her to leave her job and come. Because at that time, she had a US visa. Okay. We had to move to the US.
Okay.
I still remember one Monday, God sends a prophet to my house and he says, I see you guys moving to the US, get ready. And Monday the word comes, and Wednesday the manager calls my wife and says, you guys are moving to US on an on-site, get ready. So at that time, Michaela was born. She was few months old, and we had pioneered a ministry called the Altar Freedom Life Center in Kolattur. We were in Valasaravakam. God told us to migrate to Kolattur in complete obedience. We moved to Kolattur not knowing anything. In fact, Kolattur was not a very fancy place for me to live. I still asked God, Lord, there was such a nice place in Chennai, why Kolattur? But we just obeyed the Lord and we went to Kolattur and we got a house. And at that time, we were about to leave India. We were about to move to the US in 15 days' time.
Oh.
The congregation, my parents were ready to send us off. They prayed and they blessed us. And one night, early morning, I just woke up. I told the Lord, I'm willing to go to the US. There were times where I wanted to go to the US. But now we have the visa. I told the Lord, if it's your will, take us to the US. But if you ask my opinion, my desire, we have just started a ministry here. It was like giving birth to a baby, abandoning it and going for another baby. But again, a known devil is better than an unknown angel. Some people say going to another country is always nice, but trust me, it doesn't happen to everyone. So I told the Lord, if it's your will, take me to the US. But if you ask my opinion, I would rather be here and serve the people of Chennai here. All my friends were very upset. They said, everyone are waiting to migrate to the US. But now you have a visa and you just pray this funny prayer. You know, it's like, you know, they're saying, I mean, are you more righteous than God? Why would you pray a prayer like this? But I said, no, I feel like, okay, no, this is. So I prayed this prayer. The next day my wife goes to the office and the US project gets cancelled.
Oh my God.
And we were very happy. We didn't cry. Even
So it
now,
wasn't like the first attempt to go to US where you were so broken.
no.
So this was, you know, giving you the bliss, the happiness, the joy.
Exactly. And after a few days, I was in my morning devotion. I don't remember the exact reference of this verse, but this one particular verse popped up. It says, I sent the prophet and prophesied to test their hearts.
Wow.
And immediately I jumped on the bed. I woke up my wife. I said, you know something, Leno, we passed the test. She said, what happened? What test? What did you pass? He said, no, I passed the test. I said, what? He said, God opened the door for us to go to the US. But he was checking our hearts, whether are we ready to still be stewards and servants of God here, or will we just run away to the US, leaving everything here?
Oh my God. This is awesome to listen to.
So, and for me, it was God testing our hearts, whether are we after the vision or are we after green pastures? You know?
It's awesome.
So that's how we started the journey of altar in Kolathur. It's been about 8 years now. My daughter is 8 years today. It's been 8 years. We started this prayer center, and 2 years back the Lord helped us to pioneer a church.
Awesome.
I never wanted to come to the ministry. God made me to come to ministry. After coming to ministry, I fought with the Lord. I said, I will do anything, I will not become a pastor. And again now,
You're a pastor.
So I think I think it's wise not to tell God what you want to do and what you don't want to do.
It's better to just leave it to
Leave
him.
it to Him. You know, that's the lesson I've learned now. You know, so I've stopped saying I will never do it. Because if I say,
remember when you started your church and you were telling us all, you know, I never wanted to do this, but God says, no, this is what you need to do.
Exactly. So it's been about 2 years now.
Okay.
We have pioneered this church. And Leno has been an immense a part of the ministry, because whenever I'm out, she's on her knees and praying, and now she has started ministering and preaching.
Wow.
And the Lord uses her in the prophetic and also in the deliverance. So God has been really blessing us in the ministry. Definitely ups and downs are there. There's been a lot of hardships that we've been through physically. In fact, right now we have 2 children. We have Michaela, who is 8 years, and Micah, who is 1 year, 9 months now.
Wow. And I think both of them were named according to the verse that brought you both together.
Exactly.
Because when you started the story of the verse, I was just thinking of your kids, and I said, oh my God, that's why they are named, you know, Michaela and Micah. Anyway, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Before Michaela was born, there was such a battle. Leno had to go through to about 2 miscarriages.
Oh my God.
And Micah, again 2 miscarriages. So the enemy was after, after our lives, the health. But after all, the enemy he can touch your body. He can't touch anything else. But the victory belongs to us. So there was a season of hardships that we went through, health-wise. But the Lord sustained us. Today, both of us are healthy. But it was just a fight for the next generation.
That's wonderful, because I remember even when she was expecting her second, I think you were away for more than 4 months then, isn't
Exactly.
it? And she was really undergoing quite a strenuous situation. When I met her, she was talking to me about it, and I was really feeling, kind of sad that at this particular juncture when she needs the husband, you weren't there. But God is more than faithful.
I mean, even now, for the past about 3 years, when my daughter went to school for the first day, I was not there. For about 4 years, I've never been there for her birthdays. So thank God that the family understands the price we pay, But definitely, we have not substituted the family for ministry.
Yes.
It's always God, family, and ministry. But sometimes on these auspicious occasions, sometimes we have to travel out. But thank God, my wife and my children understand that, and they have allowed me to move around.
Yeah, because if
sake
you
of the
didn't
gospel.
have a supportive family, I don't think you could have done all that you have done.
Definitely.
And God has been so faithful in that, because you've always looked up to Him for everything, whether it is a family, whether it's your ministry, or whatever. So I can see the faithfulness of God in your life. So He's brought the right person
Yes.
and made sure, that she moves with you, and together you establish great things, because I see the way your ministry is growing, and I'm really
Amen.
so happy about it. Meeting you for the very first time and you hadn't entered into ministry, and now seeing you minister this powerfully is really a wonderful transition. Well, viewers, you've been listening to him as to how important it is for a family to support and encourage, and only then the man is able to move in the destiny that God has actually placed for him. So a virtuous woman is one who encourages, one who comforts, one who pushes her husband into the destiny where he will be known at the gates. And this is exactly what has happened in the life of Naveen, and he will be continuing in the next episode with the glorious way in which God has been using him. So till then, it's a goodbye and a God bless.
the thing